Welcome back. The EFCC on Wednesday, December 7th, paid a surprise visit to the home of Justice Rita Ofili Ajumogobia in Parkview area of Ikoyi, Lagos State. Channels TV was there, and in this next report, we bring you details of what transpired and other updates on the case against the judge and a senior advocate of Nigeria, Godwin Obla. The EFCC says they arrived at the Ikoyi home of the judge at about 5 a.m. Wednesday morning. They had obtained a search warrant from a magistrate court in Lagos to search the house after two of the judge's children refused to respond to the EFCC's letter of invitation. When Channels Television arrived at the scene, we were allowed into the premises by the judge's private security guards, but the EFCC immediately ordered us out.
Go and wait outside. Go and wait outside first.
At about 10:20 a.m., the operatives of the EFCC left. No one at the judge's home was willing to comment on the incident. In a bid to get answers as to why the search became necessary, we went to the Lagos office of the EFCC, also in the Ikoyi area. There, the Deputy Director of Operations explained that the commission was not there for the judge, but for her children.
We had gone there to invite her two children, the daughter and the son. Initially, we sent letters of invitation, inviting them to report at the EFCC, but they refused to honor that invitation. Ajumogobia herself was here personally. She came on another matter after she had been released from court. She came to EFCC on her own to request for the release of some items that EFCC have earlier on confiscated. So we told her, and she confirmed that yes, they were in receipt of that letter. But why couldn't they come? We said, okay, the best thing we do, we'll give you another one, which she willingly took from us, telling us that they are going to report. And yet, we couldn't see any one of them reporting. That was the more reason why we arranged, armed with our search warrant, to go there and execute search in order to check whether they were in the house.
The EFCC director says the invitation was extended to the children because of some huge sums of money which passed through their accounts.
We have seen where an account, where a company was opened abroad in the name of that her daughter, and all those monies that were used in making payment for the house abroad in dollars were paid into those accounts. So we wanted to get the daughter to ask her questions. How did she come about the monies that were seen in her account?
And the son too?
And the son. There were other payments that were made by the son. So we wanted to call them to be able to corroborate what we have on ground. That was the reason why we had gone there.
The children have reported to the Lagos office of the EFCC, but it's not certain how long the interrogation will last. The day after the visit, on Thursday, December 8th, Justice Ajumogobia was back in court, this time to seek the variation of the bail conditions granted to her. Justice Ajumogobia of the Lagos High Court, sitting in Ikeja, varied the bail conditions he had imposed on the judge and a senior advocate of Nigeria, Godwin Obla, after they both failed to meet the initial conditions. The commission had filed a 30-count charge against the two defendants. 4 of the charges border on an alleged 5 million naira bribe given to the judge by the senior advocate at the time she was presiding over one of his cases, while the remaining 26-count charges are on the huge sums of money which passed through the accounts of the judge and her alleged inability to explain the source. They were arraigned on the 28th of November and they both pleaded not guilty to the charges. Justice Ajumogobia then granted them bail on self-recognizance, but they were required to deposit 20 million naira each to the chief registrar of the court, along with their international passports, pending the conclusion of the trial. The conditions were to be met within 7 days or the bail would be revoked. But in separate applications filed before the court, shortly before the expiration of the period, the two defendants asked the court to vary the bail conditions. Justice Ajumogobia particularly said that the EFCC had frozen her accounts and she was unable to raise the money. In his ruling, Justice Akeem Oshodi replaced the 20 million naira with a bail bond of the same sum to be provided within 1 week. And just before we go, let's now bring you a recap of other top trending stories in the news.
We'll begin with the report that the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has adjourned the trial of Justice Sylvester Nguta to January 18 and 23, 2017. The Supreme Court Justice is standing trial for corruption, alleged money laundering, breach of professional ethics, and passport forgery-related offences. The adjournment followed an application by counsel to Justice Nguta, Chief Kanu Agabi, who told the court that he needed more time to prepare for trial as some documents given to him by the prosecution still needed to be studied. This did not go down well with the prosecutor, who urged the court to turn down the application. However, trial judge Justice John Soho delivered his ruling in favor of the defendant, Nguta, on the grounds that Section 34 of the Constitution allows the defendant time to prepare for his defense. He also added that the Administration of Criminal Justice Act also allows parties in a suit to at least 5 requests for adjournment, after which he adjourned the case. Staying in Abuja, the trial of the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, before Federal Capital Territory High Court for alleged $2.1 billion arms fund misappropriation has been put off till January 25, 2017. The adjournment of the trial followed the absence of one of the defendants in the trial, Mr. Salisu Shuaibu, a former Director of Finance and Accounts in the Office of the National Security Advisor, who was said to have taken ill and was hospitalized. Information on the condition of the defendant was conveyed to the court by the prosecution counsel, Mr. Oluwaleke Atolagbe, who told Justice Buba Yusuf that he had been served with the medical report of the defendant confirming that he had been hospitalized. At the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos, Patience Jonathan, wife of former President Goodluck Jonathan, has obtained leave to amend the 200 million naira lawsuit she filed against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and 6 others. Mrs. Jonathan filed a suit to challenge the no-debit order placed by the EFCC on 4 bank accounts domiciled with Skybank PLC. The 4 bank accounts were opened in the name of 4 companies linked with the former Special Advisor on Domestic Affairs to the former President, Raipamo Owe Dudafa. The EFCC froze the $15.5 million found in the accounts in July while investigating Dudafa for money laundering. Mrs. Jonathan, however, sued the EFCC, Skybank, Dudafa, and the 4 companies, claiming that the frozen funds belonged to her. In Edo State, the 2016 Governorship Election Tribunal sitting in Benin City, the state capital, has again adjourned till December 12 to commence pre-trial. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the governorship election, Pastor Osage Izeyamu, and his party challenged the election of Governor Godwin Obaseki. Mr. Izeyamu had rejected the results declared by INEC as he alleged that voters were induced and that the state government collaborated with INEC to doctor the results in favor of the APC. And we round off in Ibadan, where the Oyo State High Court has listened to the testimony of the owner of the house, where a lawyer, Yewande Oyediran, was believed to have killed her husband, Adelowo. The woman was said to have stabbed her husband during an argument. 3 witnesses were presented by the prosecution at the resumed hearing, including Chief Akinpelu Adelodun, who was the couple's landlord in Ibadan. Mr. Adelodun told Justice Mukta Abimbola that he was at the apartment of the couple when the argument became ugly and that he made an attempt to calm them down. He also testified that the wife insisted that she would injure her husband.
And that's the program for today. If you missed any part of it, don't forget that you can find it on past episodes on our YouTube channel. Please share your feedback with us via any of our social media platforms. I am Shola Shoyeli. Thank you for watching.